Hi, everybody. John Pasanchik here, and I just want to welcome you to my live tonight. Well, I guess a few weeks ago, I wound up giving everybody a little bit of information on my background, and my background is that. Hang on, this. Technical difficulties, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so thank you. So I just got a sound check and a technical check from Kathy. Everything is good. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I came onto Facebook to basically tell people, I actually have a background in investment banking and Wall Street and things like that that I never really talk about, and I'm actually pretty heavy in that area. So what I wanted to do was I'm very hot and heavy on Bitcoin, and what I want to be able to do tonight is give an analysis and a short-term I guess possibility of where Bitcoin is going to be moving in the short term. Now, before I get into that, I just want to say I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not giving investment advice. If you take any action based on this, you have to do your due diligence. Everything I'm talking about involves risk, so you have to make sure that this is right for you. So, having said that, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a short-term analysis on the price of Bitcoin, because we're at a really very interesting stage here with Bitcoin. So I'm going to move to another screen just so that I can see it better. And unfortunately, I apologize for the screen side that you see on this chart. So here's a chart of Bitcoin, and it is a one-day chart. So that's 24 hours of price action. It shows the high, low, and close. Now, Bitcoin is typically very, very volatile. You could get $1,000, $2,000 swings in Bitcoin on any given day, and in the last day, the price swing has been, a high of just, $19,339 as the high, and as the low of $19,052, which is only about $300 as a swing for the day. That's not a hell of a lot. And what's very important here is it's really basically it has been going sideways over the last 24 hours. Now, having said that, okay, and so that's an important thing here. Having said that, I'm going to move to a chart that shows 7 days worth of activity. Now, this tells you an awful lot. So going back here, and this is going back to what was that? December 8th and December 9th, we hit a high, okay? And that high was at the approximately, I gotta extrapolate here. It was at approximately 19,300 in round numbers, okay? And we had a pretty heavy duty sell-off, a little bit of a recovery, and then the sell-off continued. Okay. Now here's the important thing here about this reaction to this high. We had a sell-off, a rally, and then we sold off again, and then from that sell-off we rallied up. Okay, so we set a low here, we came in here, had a low, and then we retested that low, and we moved higher. But so if this was truly a bear market, if the bottom was about to fall out of Bitcoin, when we got to this space right over here, which is around the $18,000 level, we would have consolidated as we did over here, and then it would turn down and it would have gone lower. It didn't do that. It consolidated and actually went higher and broke above, started breaking above the highs that were set in this decline. That is a significant factor, very, very, very significant, and because that you know, the last time we got to these levels, and that was going back, I don't know, December 2017, more or less, January 2018, when we got into the $19,000 level, it was lights out. It dropped like a stone, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I think it came down to like $10,000 in a heartbeat. So bear that in mind. So we wound up having, on the 7-day chart, we wound up testing this low, after hitting that high, very close to the previous all-time high, came down, and then we started to trend up, and we came back to that all-time high. Now, here's another thing of significance. We have several tops here. We have a top here that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're now working on the 5th one. That's significant also, because typically, you have a secondary test, or this will be coming to test this out, and if it holds, then you wind up with something like this again, where it just falls out of bed. Well, the good news is it didn't do that. It held its space there. Not only did it hold its space, over this time period here, volatility on the price started to narrow down. So we have a narrowing of price range for several days since we've hit this high here, which is a test of the high, 7 days ago, 6 days ago, something like that. So what does that all mean? Okay, so at this point now you're looking at uncharted territory. So volatility is starting to contract on this, and that's indicated. I have Bollinger Bands on here, and the Bollinger Bands are indicating and graphically showing that volatility is narrowing. Okay, so anytime you've got something that's very volatile and the volatility shrinks, something big is about to happen. So the question is it going to go up or is it going to go down? All right. It's not going to be a question of, are we just going to sit here? We may continue to shrink volatility, so we may get, a few more days in this tight range, and it may even tighten up more. Somehow I'm getting a feeling that that's not the case, just based on the last 3 days action. But so with the shrinkage of volatility, something big is going to happen, up or down. Okay, so we're going to find that out over the next couple of days. So if we start to move higher, okay, and we break through basically, if we get to $19,400 on the Bitcoin over the next couple of days, that's going to be a very positive indicator that this thing could go higher, and it could break to the upside for $20,000. Beyond $20,000, and that becomes uncharted territory, and who knows where it's going to go from there. The big boys are talking, very big numbers, but I don't have the same crystal ball that they have. My crystal ball, though, is telling me that since we didn't fall out of bed when we hit this all-time high, around the 11th of December. And volatility started to narrow, and we were consolidating. It's looking like it wants to break to the upside. The reason I'm saying that is over here, if you connect the tops with the trend line, okay, that trend line extends down this way, and that trend line was broken right in here. That trend line was broken in here, and we popped up. Now that brings us to the top of the volatility bands. So at this point we could sort of do a pullback to test that the center moving average that's in there. But so here's how I'm kind of looking at this. Is volatility is going to, over the next few days, start to expand. I think this is going to start moving to the upside, and the indicators for that is the fact that it didn't fall out of bed when it got to the secondary high. So that's a very good indicator. Also, if we take a look at the 1 month here, this is a price action of a month, so it kind of better shows all these tops. And when we were back here, and that was back in November, we hit a top and we fell out of bed, and then we came up, and that was the falling out of bed that I talked about previously. So this is a very positive looking chart. So that's my take on it. I do think that this is gonna go higher. Right now, Bitcoin, according to this exchange, is at, I think, 19,308. But the feed may have stopped. So this is a very good indicator. I wanted to present this to you all, because Bitcoin is really pretty interesting, and it may be something where it could be people's opportunity if they missed out on Apple, on IBM, on Tesla, on any of those things. So I wanted to put that out there. I plan on doing some analysis like this periodically. I'm not going to do one every day, because sometimes watching a price movement is like watching paint dry. But if this starts to unfold from the narrowing volatility that we have here, I will definitely do a live to give an alert. All right. Okay, so this was 12 minutes. It was about how long I wanted to spend on this. If you're still here listening to me, I thank you very much. Give me a comment what you thought of this. Tell me if you thought it was boring. Tell me if you thought it was insightful. I really do want to know what you think, because I want to add value. I definitely want to add value to your lives. So let me know if this is adding value, so that you by hearing this type of analysis. All right. Thank you very much. God bless you, and have a great evening.